Let this tree's fate be your final lesson. Astral break! The heavens fall! Grasping snarl! The heavens fall! Answers to me! Blazing sky! Your doom is here!
well, I hope everyone enjoyed that video. I honestly didn't expect it to die the way it did. But you know, when someone tells me something is impossible, I just have to make it possible. Even if I have to sit there for 5,000 attempts, I don't care. I'll sit there for as long as it's necessary to kill the boss. So, I'm going to go through briefly, because I don't want to make the video too long. So if you want the full, like, detailed sauce on how I did it, it's in the description. But a very brief summary. And I'm gonna like kind of dumb down how I speak, so like kind of people like from that more casual can understand. It's basically having to play a paladin, due to the fact that paladins can block spells, and that rather that damage you block from spells is increased against lower levels. So like having a myth track shield or 636 shield against a level 70 raid boss makes me mitigate more damage. So paladin is the only class for now until like season 3 or season 4 that can do this. So I'm gonna go into 3 mechanics. Most of like old content can be kind of brute forced through, like you can see in the video. I'm just kind of like avoiding a lot of the mechanics. I don't want to really talk about that, but what I really want to talk about is the seeds of flame, the flaming trees, the orbs in the sky that you take when you fly to platform, and how I even not reset the boss. Like how was I able to AFK on the platform? So first thing I'm going to talk about is the platform switch. So when Tindral goes on to the second platform, he does a mechanic. He starts doing a mechanic where he shapeshifts into like a burning tree, and he does Seeds of Flame. Now, Seeds of Flame should be on your screen. Seeds of Flame casts 6 or 7 seeds. You can only soak 1 seed on Mythic, and that's why when you do this at current, you have 1 player on each seed, and you have around 4 or 5 seconds to absorb these seeds. If you don't, they turn into Flaming Trees, which should be on your screen now. Flaming Trees do what I call true damage. They cannot be spell blocked, they cannot be parried, they cannot be dodged, they cannot be mitigated by like, you know, Pally's block, for example. But they can be reduced by avoidance and versatility. But obviously, we're in season 1 of the War Within. We barely have any avoidance. We barely have any versatility. And even getting avoidance is like, you know, that's not something you can actively farm. It's kind of RNG. You'd have to be insane to go for avoidance on every slot, which I don't have any avoidance gear pieces, just enchants. So, 1 Flaming Tree does about 500k. Okay, it's true damage. And after verse, it's like 480. There's about 6 of them, taking around 480k per second. Now, I can only survive for 6 or 7 seconds when I have my defensive cooldowns up. But obviously, my defensive cooldowns are not permanent, so it's pretty much an impossible strat to survive that. Not even talking about the fact that he does 2 sets of those seeds, and then going into platform 3, he will continuously do that until he gets into his enrage, which can result in, as you can see on the clip here, about 30 trees sometimes popping up at once. And I believe I do have a clip, which you should see it on screen now, where I even try to fly in onto the 3rd platform when there's like 30 trees up. I get ticked 100 to 0 in a blink of an eye. No class, no matter what your gear is, you can have avoidance on every single piece of gear, full 639. You can even have the season 2 gear that's on the PTR right now. You cannot survive that. It is impossible. So I knew then, because it's mathematically impossible, I had to then find a way to avoid it. So going into Wowhead, I saw that the flaming trees last 10 minutes, but they hit you from 50,000 yards away. Now, I noticed when I'm on a different platform, I'm more than 50,000 yards away, apparently, because it doesn't hit me. And so I can pretty much wait it out until it despawns. Now, you see in the kill video, I'm on platform 2, and Tindral does his enrage by doing his 3rd supernova. And then what happens after that supernova is the sky permanently stays red, and you will permanently take end supernova explosion damage, which is 3 million per tick. So I'm taking 3 million damage before mitigation per tick, which is now going to be reduced by my consecration, my versatility, my spell block, which is obviously then enhanced by my shield, which is 636, which I had to craft specifically for this video because I'm not a Mythic Raider. I don't like Mythic Plus, so I just had to go for it for the sake of the video. Now the other issue is my mana. If I'm standing on the 2nd platform, as you saw in the kill video, and I'm spamming Word of Glory. That's the only thing I'm doing. I'm Blessed Hammer, standing in Consecration, spamming Word of Glory. I'm not using Shield of the Righteous, I can't Judge, I can't Avenge a Shield, I can't melee attack, so a lot of talents become completely redundant. What I did notice in my attempts as well was that my Haste Mastery gear, which is the conventional way of gearing your prop pally, was really bad. You don't want haste, because haste will make me generate holy power faster, which will burn for mana faster. So I had to recraft all my gear and go full verse mastery for slower intake of damage, to allow my MP5, which is 125,000 mana per 5 seconds, to tick more often, so that my mana can always stay on top of my mana can always stay higher than the amount I'm spending, if that makes sense. So that so what I'm trying to do is survive for 10 minutes before I take the portal into the platform where Tindral is, because 10 minutes after the enrage, those flaming trees are going to despawn, and then I can make the whole fight much easier by continuously healing, because obviously the supernova is going to hit me forever until I die, or he does. But now I can use judgments, I can melee attack him, and so on and so on. So the idea is to get as much verse mastery as possible, and taking full advantage of that spell block, and just waiting out the flaming trees. And once they despawn, you go in there and you kill Tindral. Now, Tindral doesn't have any more scripts or programming beyond his enrage, because the game assumes, or Blizzard assumes, at level 70, once this enrage goes off, everyone dies instantly. There's no world where you survive that. Heck, you can even go in there on a 639 monk, which I try to get my friend to attempt it for me to see how good monk was, died in like seconds. So it's not something that Blizzard expects you to survive, and that's why Tindral gets permanently stuck in this animation where he's just constantly doing supernova ticks, supernova ticks. He does auto attack me too. If you watch carefully in the video, I'm still taking auto attacks, and I'm still getting Shearing Wrath debuff, which is the proof that he is auto attacking me. But he can't move, he can't do anything else. His script has run out. Okay, similar to what I did on Smolderon. The whole fight lasted about 37 minutes, 38 minutes. And yeah, I had to basically make 0 mistakes, continuously make sure that I'm generating holy power as fast as I can to reduce the cooldown of Bubble, Argent Defender, and Guardian of the Ancient Kings. And the reason for that is because I need to lap one defensive cooldown out of the other. So if I dwarf ratio, I then have to use Bubble. After Bubble, I have to then use Guardian of the Ancient Kings. After that, I have to use Argent Defender. You gotta make sure you have one button up, at least, for all this ticking damage. You can never let Consecration drop. I also have this cape that comes in the raid. Really helps a lot every 90 seconds. I also put Verse enchant on my weapon for 3900 extra Verse. I use Augment runes. I use the I forgot the Vantage rune, where you cast it on the boss for an extra 499 verse. So I really tried to squeeze out every single bit of verse and mastery I could. I knew this would be possible in Season 2, but I just could not wait. I really wanted to kill it, just in case somebody else did it first. I would have been devastated. So I went in after a Mythic Plus session all day, and I got it. I freaking got it. My mana didn't run out, and if my mana doesn't run out, I can permanently keep myself alive. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about before I then dump it into text is, you notice in my debuffs, I permanently have 10 stacks of the orbs that you collect when you're flying through the platforms. This is because those debuffs, the orbs, are only meant to last until the supernova is over. Because I went through the 2 fixed supernovas, which are a part of the fight, I collected the orbs after the supernovas were casted. And so the game thinks, hey, there's no supernova. He collected orbs, so I just keep the orbs permanently, which gives me a 50% damage increase, 50% healing increase, and a 50% increase to absorbs. Which without that, I would not have been able to kill the boss, and I barely still even came close. Like, it was so butt clenching. Like, oh my goodness, this was by far the hardest boss I've ever soloed. I'm gonna leave it there. Take care, everyone.